Okay. Am I live? Am I live? Let me reload the page. I'm live. I'm live. Okay. Hey guys, it's Brandon. This is my first time using StreamYard, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, no, this is just a time where I can interact with some of you guys. If anyone comes to the chat, you guys can ask me questions, whether it be about personal life, whether it be about being a video editor, whether it be about being a freelancer and making your way into this incredible world that's sometimes overwhelming. I've always wanted to have this experience where I talk to you guys and like answer questions that you guys have. And if no one shows up, this will just be a replay that people can go back to and watch, where I'm just talking about my story, how I started out in this space as an editor, and my journey coming up, and potentially bring some tidbits of value here and there that some of you guys can take away into your own freelance journeys through that story. So there's no one in here yet. Actually, no, maybe I'll wait a little bit to see if anyone trickles in. But if no one trickles in like the next 1 to 2 minutes, I'll just get started on just how I came up in this space um, and just go from there. So let's wait. As you can see, I'm in my room. I don't have the most miraculous, streaming setup. I'm by no means a streamer. This isn't my segue into becoming a streamer. I just want to talk to you guys. That's really simply put. And I put a guest link in the chat box. So if any of you guys have any questions, you don't actually have to type them in the chat. You can just click that link. It should work and it should bring you to a place where you can join this and you can talk to me and you'll actually be up on the screen. I've always wanted to have like some sort of community aspect where people can actually talk to me face to face rather than having to type it in chat. So yeah, just gonna wait a little bit, see if anyone else trickles in. One watching now. I just posted the story thing, so I don't really expect that many people to show up. To be honest with you, you guys ever seen that run club? Like when people post about the run club, I was just talking to a friend about this. It's like those Instagram videos on Run Club where they try to set up like a rendezvous where everyone meets and does a run club and no one shows up. That's those videos always make me very sad. But hopefully it won't be like that this time around. And if it is, who cares? I'm just gonna keep doing it. Keep doing it. If I feel like it's valuable and I have things to talk about in a live setting. So yeah, no one showed up. So let me just go and talk about. Maybe I shouldn't say that no one shows up because if someone replays this, that might ruin my credibility. But I digress. So guys, like I have had a journey in the video editing space. Like I wouldn't in any shape or form consider myself, like a veteran, but I have been editing for probably around 6 years at this point. Professionally, I'm talking professionally. Like obviously I'd made videos before that and created before that, but my first client I believe was in 2020 or 2021, one of those two, late 2020 or early 2021. But before that, I had always made videos. So, like if you have been or are in high school or middle school, you have these school projects where, oftentimes you have the option to film videos or do this or do that. And I think that was my first experience. Like I had always was drawn to I was always drawn to that challenge of making a video. It felt very interactive. It gave me an opportunity to do something fun with like my family and friends and my mom, my dad, and my sister. Like they know I was like a little mini director, guys. Like when I would make videos for class and stuff like that, those were always just so fun to me. But I also would like in my spare time do like stupid video. I remember there was this one time I was watching I don't know if you guys know Film Riot, but Film Riot made a video on how to do like super speed on like video edit super speed. And like that I think was my first introduction to like an editing tutorial that I actually followed and did. I was probably a what, 12, 11, 13 maybe, where I did like the super speed video. No, I was probably younger than that. It was like a super speed video where I was pretending to have super speed and I did this thing. Anyway, so I always had that sort of creative drive in me, but like as I was growing up, I became a big gamer. So like gaming was a big thing for me that I fell in love with, and eventually I fell in love with it so much so that I was like, okay, like I want to share these experiences with other people. Like I want to make videos. And so that's where I started to make videos online, like on YouTube. I make YouTube videos. My old channel is still up. I don't know how many videos are still up, but my old channel is still up. It's not this channel, it's an old channel. And I would just make videos, and I would always enjoy the process of like getting the clips, because obviously you want to get the good clips or the funny clips or whatever. I would always have so much fun getting the clips and then bring them together in editing. Like editing was always really fun to me. A lot of people, they don't like editing, but my argument is if you're editing something that you just genuinely enjoy, for me, that was gaming, it's actually quite an enjoyable experience. Especially when you can look back at the clips that you have and like reminisce on those moments, and you're bringing them all together in a way that you're sharing it with other people. So I always enjoyed it. But there was a certain point where I kind of stopped trying with the editing. Like I wasn't really putting too much effort into it. I wasn't trying to do anything over the top. I wanted to have my videos be very like raw and unedited because there was a YouTuber that I liked that was their style, and I thought that I could maybe be them without really having to try. And then my videos were getting like very low views. I mean, I was always getting low views, but lower than usual. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I don't like this style of content. I want to actually try. I want to make something that I'm really proud of. And so that's when I really started to what I was going to say pump the brakes, but that would be the opposite of what I'm trying to communicate. I would move forward with my editing basically. And I would try to go really hard on it. And at that point, my videos would take me like a month plus to finish, if you look at the timeline of start to finish. And so those videos I was really proud of. And it got to the point where I was actually getting the attention of people that I genuinely admired in the gaming space. Like people that I was already in contact with and they were seeing my videos. They would, I don't know if they would say my videos were good, but it was something that they were actually recognizing the hard work that I was putting in. And honestly, at the point when I started to really put a lot more effort into my videos, that's when I really started to make these great connections with other creators, and we would game together and we play together, and I made some friends actually that were there was this one guy. He made videos. He was one of the main people who inspired me to make videos. His name is Matt. And I actually ended up meeting Matt, and we became really close friends, and we would play Fortnite like every single day. Like that came from me making videos. Someone that I started this journey. It was such a full circle moment because someone that had helped me start this journey before they even realized it was someone that now, like, I still consider Matt a friend. I don't know if he'd still consider me a friend. We haven't talked in a while, but we had so many great memories together. And through that community, the one with Matt and Austin and some other people that I had met online, I made the decision. I was like, okay, to be honest, because it was Fortnite at the time. I was like, Fortnite isn't really, like doing it for me anymore. So I'm gonna just see if anyone, like, can I make money off this? That was like a crazy click moment for me, was when I realized, like, wait, I can actually make money off this? Like, that's wild. Like, if I just do what I'm doing right now for other people, I can make money from that. It doesn't really make sense to me. I'm gonna paste the link again, so that if anyone again, if you want to ask me a question or just talk to me about anything, you can click the link that I have pinned and we can have a conversation. So hold on. Invite guest. Yep, just click that link. I'm gonna paste it a few times. click that link and you can have a conversation with me about any questions that you have regarding. It doesn't have to be about editing. Although I'm talking about editing right now, it doesn't have to be about that. It can be about personal life. It can be about freelancing in general rather than the editing side of things. It can be about creativity. It can be about introversion. It can be about extroversion. It can be about conversations. It can be about anything, guys. So don't be shy. You will see yourself on the screen, which I think is pretty cool. I didn't know you could do this. So, and by the way, I don't know how I'll be able to know if people join. I guess I'll just hope that I know. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy realization that I could make money off of something that I was already doing and that I already loved. That was crazy to me. I don't know. Like, did any of you guys have that realization that something that you were already doing and that you already loved, and I'll get into better yet, something that everyone was telling you to stop doing because it's a waste of time, is something that you could actually make money off of? That was a crazy realization for me. I don't know about you guys if you're in the space. So yeah, from that point, I asked. Matt was someone who really helped me through this process because he was already a professional video editor. I was like, what should I do to get clients? Like, what should I do? What should I do? And something that was really popular to do at the time was to make an editing reel, which is still popular, but like on Twitter. Like I was actively on Twitter. And so a lot of people on Twitter who were editors or whatever, they would make editing reels. So I figured, okay, what better way to do this than to just compile all of my content that I've already made. I already had basically a portfolio of like all this content that I had made off my personal content, and I could just package that into a reel that would communicate to the people. I didn't realize that this is what was going on in my head, but basically communicate to the people that I want to attract that what they want is something that I can offer. Right. And for example, like this editing reel, I specifically pointed out, I was like, okay, funny captions, like meme edits, and I would show examples. Let me see. Can I pull that up? X.com. Can I pull up? Can I screen share? I can share a screen. I can share a screen. Guys, this is so cool. Actually, maybe I should wait till I get the video up, especially because it's on X, because we don't know what's going to show up on there. Profile. All right. Hold on, guys. Anyone in the chat? If you're in the chat, say what's up. If you're in the chat, say what's up. If you're in the chat, just comment, hey, or something. Share screen. X share. All right. Let me see if you can even hear. No, you can't hear, but actually it's super laggy. So let me stop. Let me stop sharing. So yeah, so basically my reel would communicate. Let me see. I'll just watch it for you guys. Need an editor. I'm ready to work. Are you? And then smooth subtitles was the first thing I outlined. Seamless meme edits was something that I outlined. Precise zoom ins and cuts was something I outlined. Funny and well paced was something that I outlined as well. And I used clips that were examples of that thing to highlight that I actually knew what I was talking about. And I've talked about this in a post before, but this not only allows me to show that I understand what the people that I'm trying to attract want in this space, but also that I know how to do it. And I know how to do it well from my own personal experience. And thirdly, it all kind of triangulates in this way that like I'm also passionate about what I do because all of these clips that I'm showing you are my personal content. So I think it's just it's, I don't know if trichotomy is the best word or is that's the applicable word, but it is the perfect conglomerate of resources for someone who, even if I don't have a following, even if I don't have past client work, to show them that I know what I'm talking about, like just a little bit, enough to actually close that trust barrier, right? And then from there, within a day, I believe, I got my first client. And it was someone that I kind of knew a little bit, but he had 300,000 subscribers. His name is Milo. And he asked me, he was like, "Hey bro, your edits are fire. Do you want to edit for me?" And of course I'm like freaking out. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. I don't know what to charge. I want to charge." I'm like, "Sounds good, man." Like, you know how you try to act cool. I was like, "Yeah, sounds good, bro. Like, what's your budget? What's your budget, man?" And he told me, he was like, "I don't know, because I don't really work with these people." In retrospect, I think he was trying to get me to say a price that was super low so that he could come in. He ended up charging, no, I ended up charging him. No, he ended up, sorry guys, he ended up giving me $80 for that edit. He ended up giving me $80 for that edit. Which, looking back, not really enough for the work that I was doing. But when you have that first client, guys, that first client feeling is something else. It's something else, especially someone like with that level of stature who's like established. It was just really cool. And so I'm forever thankful to Milo for that opportunity and for entrusting me. We worked together for about 7 months, maybe more actually. And so yeah, guys, if you're in the live stream, press that link. If you want to ask me a question, I'll pull you up and you can literally ask me a question face to face. It's really cool. And I want to be able to use it. So if you're here in the chat, say what's up, say hi. If you're in the chat, text hi. And so I know you're here. Anyway, but again, if no one's here, I'm just going to keep talking and I'll just talk about my journey. And hopefully in the replay, someone will find that useful. So yeah. And so Milo was my first client. Let's make that clear. Home of Games, who was also a Fortnite YouTuber, he was my second client, and that came in very shortly after my first client. He had 4 million subscribers, and I'll talk about what made us separate, which it's so funny. I mean, looking back, it's so funny. But yeah, so I worked with Milo for 7 months. I worked for Home of Games for about 3 months. And the reason why me and Home of Games stopped working is because he realized that I was in high school. So he didn't know before working with me that I was like 16 or something like that. And I think when I told him that I was in school and I was 16, he kind of freaked out and was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm working with a kid," or like, "I don't want to mess with his school schedule." I don't know if it was more of like, I'm working with a kid, or I don't want to mess up what he has going on in school and I want him to stay focused in school. I don't know which one it was. I'm assuming it's this one. But yeah, so he kind of slowly backed away from me when he realized that I was a kid, because I started talking to him about, like, I was like, "Hey, yeah, sounds good. I got you. I'll be on time. I just letting you know I have like a meet, like I have like a track meet coming up." And that was kind of his entry into realizing that oh wait, hold on, this guy's a student. I remember there was one time he was like, "Oh wait, you're in high school?" And I was like, "Yeah." I thought it was cool saying that because I'm like, "Yeah, I'm making moves, you know." But I think he took it the other way. I digress. But yeah, so those are my first 2 clients, and honestly, like, because when I submitted my resume to LSU or whatever they do for college, that was my entryway into the submission. Because if you're in film school at LSU, you have to submit application basically as if you're like applying for a job. You gotta do like some extra steps. You gotta make a video. You gotta tell them why you need to be there. I don't remember exactly what the steps were, but basically they were the foundation of everything that I was communicating to LSU of why I'm a valuable student and why I'm worth being there. And so I got into LSU, and then from there I started doing, like client work. So not client work, I'm sorry, student work. So people who had student films, I kind of use that as a segue because I understood, like, none of these people know who I am. So as far as reputation goes, I'm going to kind of have to build that up again, like for a second time, because no one understands that I have this experience. And quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. Film and gaming are 2 completely different industries with 2 completely different demands out of you as an editor. Of course, things cross over, but especially more the collaboration experience, they're different. So I knew it was important for me to rebuild that reputation from the ground up. while also understanding that I had a bit of a head start. Again, guys, if you're in the chat, say what's up, say hey, and there is a link that I'll paste again that if you have any questions for me, you can join the link and you can get pulled up in this thing. You can ask me whatever questions you want. It can be about editing. It can be about motion design, excuse me. It can be about life, personal life, anything that you have questions for me that, I've talked about on Instagram that you're curious for me to expand upon, anything. Just be sure to click the link. I'll copy it again. Hold on. So yeah, click that link if you're down. But if not, I'll continue. So basically, where was I? So yeah, I had to build I understood that if I'm going to be in this new environment, because when I came to this school, maybe I shouldn't dox myself like that, but when I came to this school, no one knew who I was. So it was important for me to rebuild that reputation. And honestly, whether I realize it or not, use this as an opportunity to become a better collaborator, not just a better editor, but a better collaborator. And figuring out, okay, what can I do to make myself more valuable for these people simultaneously while proving my expertise, if that makes sense. So eventually, like word got out that I was an editor. A lot of people who come into the LSU film program, they're not really editors. They don't really they're more on the director side, or producer side, writer side. That's where they want to be. So to have an editor in the program was a little bit unorthodox, but helpful for a lot of people who had great ideas. Now they knew that they had somebody that they could semi-trust at this point. I'm a sophomore or freshman, semi-trust that could execute their ideas in the way that they want them to. So eventually people started asking me to help them with their projects. And being the people pleaser that I am, I immediately said yes. And I worked on some amazing projects like The Gray Area, which Nina Embog, that's her film. If you guys are not familiar with Nina, she's awesome. Go follow her. I follow her on, I assume I follow her on my page. So just look up Nina and follow her and see what she's got going on. And then from there, I worked on, I worked on Paranoia with Ethan Hood. That one was good. Follow Ethan as well. And then I worked on The Aces with Megan. Megan's great. Follow her. I'm just giving I don't know why I'm telling you guys to follow them. Like, you guys can do whatever you want. But yeah, so and then eventually I get to a point where I'm like, okay, people understand that like I do this. This is something that I do. And like now it's kind of getting to a point where too many people are asking me for work. And I can't say yes to everybody at this point. And so from there I had to make a decision, right? Should I I'm going to have to start turning people down. So what do I do in this situation? Well, my gears were turning in a way that in my head, I'm like, okay, I know that these projects, this is another thing. These projects are no, like small tasks. These are big projects that take me months and months and months. They take months and months and months of my time. And so if I'm not charging anything, not only am I going to start to grow resentful for that lengthy process, and by extension, I'm not going to be able to provide as well as good work, as quality work. But honestly, the client, the person that I'm editing for, is going to start valuing me less. And what I mean by that is twofold. One, most of the time, especially in the professional world, like I understand that students don't have money and that's totally fine. I've noticed that in the professional world, the people who want you to do free work are the people who expect everything from you for basically nothing in return. And so I've noticed that I have to be very careful with people who want work up front without paying anything or making any sort of commitment, because those people, they don't really, typically they don't really see exchanges like that as something that needs to be equal or they need to contribute something. And so that is a character revealing trait, right? But also at the same time, it's like naturally, if you don't pay for something, you're just simply going to value it less. I mean, that's it's just simply put. You're simply going to value it less. So if I'm allowing people to have me as an editor for free, there's going to be a certain point where my reputation is on the line. And the people who are coming to me are going to start to become a little bit lower quality. They're not going to respect my time. They're not going to respect the energy that I'm putting into these projects. And it'll make me start to feel bad because now there's no metric to explain why I chose someone to work with over someone else. But if I start charging for work, not only will people value my expertise more, they value my work more, they've actually committed something. So they're going to put more value into me as an expert and as a creative. But now I don't even really have to turn anybody down. I really don't, because all I have to do is, hey, can you edit this for me? Hey, I have this project coming up. Can you edit this for me? Yeah, sure. What's your budget? They are gone. When I say the word budget, most people, they are gone. And that's not a shun to them. That's not I'm not trying to insult those people. I'm just saying, especially because we're college students, everyone doesn't have a budget, and that's totally fine. But it allows me to not have to say no to anybody. All I have to do is ask them what their budget is, and they're gone. So that was that, and for that reason, though, it was a tough transition because I had to start in my head. I'm turning down people who I really enjoy working with and I'm friends with, and I consider to be great peers that I've met through my experience at the school. So for me to put that barrier, because I mean, even though I'm not directly saying no, I am putting a bit of a barrier. For me to put that barrier, I really started to feel bad. And I started to get in my head of like, okay, what are people saying behind closed doors about this transition that I'm making? Like, are people slowly resenting me as an editor, as a creative? Are they seeing me as someone who's ungrateful? Are they seeing me as someone who doesn't respect them or thinks that they're above my peers? Like, I was really torn and worried that that's what people were thinking about me, and they very well might have. I honestly don't know what people were saying behind closed doors. I'm sure there were many people who were talking negatively about me, but at the end of the day, it's what it is. I have no control over what people say about me when I'm not around. Hopefully if there are people who are saying things, that comes to light, and then we can have a conversation about it. But if not, I mean, what does it matter to me? Anyway, so from there, again, it was a tough transition, but eventually what that gave me the platform to do was it gave me the platform to start outreaching clients that were out in the quote unquote real world, who had businesses, who had employees, who had budgets. And that's when I got an internship for this company. What they do is they basically take, I don't know if you've ever worked at a company before, but they have benefits. We all have benefits at certain companies. If it's like a semi-reputable company, 401ks, college funds, like I don't know, just naming random things. So this company would give these companies a platform that they could administer these benefits to their employees, basically. So I worked for them. They were a big company. Like I believe they're a $1 billion company. They're a big company, and I got to work with great clients from there. And from there, that was about a year ago at this point, and here we are, guys. I mean, that's crazy to think that was a year ago. Again, guys, if you're in the chat and you have a question for me, press that link, join the guest link, and you can ask me any question that you want. So I recommend doing that. But if not, it's okay. But I will paste the link again. Hold on. There you go. That's the link. If you're here, say what's up. Say hi. If not, oops, sorry guys. If you're not, oh good, there's a replay. You can come back. But yeah, so that's kind of my journey coming up. And along the way, like I didn't really talk about it, but there were a lot of insecurities. Like I think my biggest like hurdle even today is insecurities and like, what are people thinking about me? What's the perception of me as a person? And so I don't know if that comes from just the natural desire to edit and be an editor, like wanting to analyze everything. That's been my theory for a while now, but I don't know. And but that insecurity has also weirdly driven a lot of the actions that I've taken over the past few years. And so it's been such an interesting journey, and hopefully I'll continue to document what goes on, whether I stay in the editing space, whether I go into something different. And I hope that you guys stay along for the ride, and so yeah, that's kind of my story. Like I said, if no one shows up in this live, I'm gonna just keep talking. I've been talking for 40 minutes, basically, maybe like 35. So 30 minutes, 48 seconds. So that's how long I've been talking for. If any of you guys are in the chat and you have questions for me, you can either type them in the chat or you can join the link that I've spammed probably a million times now. So I'll wait on that. If anyone has questions, go for it. If not, I'll just end the stream. So again, if you're just joining the stream, say what's up. Hello, how are you doing? I have a link that you can click. And if you click it, you can join this stream right now. You can join it and ask me any question that you want. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, of course, you can just type it in chat. But if none of you guys have questions, I'll just end it here. I'll wait maybe 30 more seconds to see if any of you guys join. But if not, it's all good. It's all good. I've enjoyed this conversation with whoever's watching, whether you're a live viewer, whether you are a replay viewer, because I'm going to keep this up. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And again, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask them, because I'm about to end the stream. So you can either click the link or you can type them in the chat and we can get it going. But I'll give it maybe 30 more seconds. If no one joins, all good. And if you're in the chat, let me know if there are any topics that you specifically want me to cover. If you don't feel like asking any questions, if there are any topics that you want me to cover that that maybe I have some experience in, have some time maybe dealing with, whatever it may be, whether it be pricing, whether it be being a video editor, whether it be being an introvert, whether it be being a creative in general, whether it be being a Black person. I mean, I don't know. I'm throwing things out there, just throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing what sticks. If you don't have any questions, all good. I'm probably gonna end the stream here. Thank you guys so much, whoever joined. Like I saw, maybe I had 1 to 2 viewers here and there. If you're in the stream, I really appreciate you. Like, you don't understand how much I appreciate you taking the time to join and see what's going on. It really means the world to me. And even though I don't know who you are, just know that I am very thankful for you, your presence, and just keep going. Keep following with your dreams and following your passion. And I believe in you. So appreciate you guys. See you later.